Yeah. Maybe the Gravity Falls um, Hunger Games simulator would be a good chance to test out my voice changer. I think I mentioned it in an earlier video, except I forgot to turn it on, so it was just me, my normal voice, telling you that I had a voice changer on. But it wasn't on, you just heard my regular voice. But now, it should be on. I hope so. And hopefully it's legible. But I've got 24 characters here. Struggled to collect all the PNGs for them because it's hard to find perfectly square PNGs on the internet. But I got them all. Proceed. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Robbie finds a bag of explosives. Bud, Gleeful, Tad Strange, and Seuss work together to get as many supplies as possible. Mabel Pines and Glenda fight for a bag. Mabel Pines gives up and retreats. Gideon runs away from the cornucopia. Stanford grabs a shield leaning on the cornucopia. I can't talk, at all. Whatever. Deputy Derwin finds a bow, some arrows, and a quiver. Cipher runs away from the cornucopia. I forgot to set Miss Gleeful to female. That's... whoops, whatever. But Miss Gleeful is unable to convince Waddles not to kill her. Toby, determined, runs away from the cornucopia. Injured Powers runs away from the cornucopia. Tyler runs away from the cornucopia. Everyone runs away. Candy scares Stanley Pines away from the cornucopia. Sheriff Blubs, Wendy, Love God, and Old Man McGucket share everything they gathered before running. Wendy receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Pacifica thinks about home. Seuss and Agent Powers work together for the day. Agent Trigger and Stanford Pines hunt for other tributes. Sorry. Waddles chases Gideon. Tyler defeats Old Man McGucket in a fight that spares his life. Robbie sprains his ankle while running away from Deputy Derwent. Bill Cipher tries to spearfish with a trident. Toby, determined, is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Bud, Gleeful, and Stanford. Bud, Gleeful, and Stanley Pines work together for the day. Dipper Pines, Tad Strange, Grandpa Candy, and Mabel Pines hunt for other tributes. Sheriff Blubs hunts for other tributes. This guy receives water from an unknown sponsor. Miss Gleeful's the only death. Rest in peace, Miss Gleeful. Toby determined receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Tad Strange tends to his wounds. Pacifica receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Bill Cipher receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Love God sees a fire but stays hidden. Deputy Derwent quietly hums. Dipper cries himself to sleep. Stanley Stanley Pines, Agent Powers, and Agent Trigger cheerfully sing songs together. Chef Blums and Tyler talk about the tribute still alive. Bud Gleeful is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Gideon sees fire but stays hidden. Wendy treats to her infection. Waddles tends to Mabel's wounds. Candy receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Sorry, that was gross. Seuss tries to treat his infection. Brenda and Robbie sleep in shifts. Stanford and Old Man McGucket huddle for warmth. There have been barely any deaths. This is surprising. Only like 5 people die in the first day. Brenda searches for a water source. Robbie searches for firewood. Deputy Derwent steals from Seuss while he isn't looking. Sheriff Blubs injures himself. Ow! Love God and Pacifica fight Stanford Pines and Dipper Pines. Love God and Pacifica win. Shit. Stanley receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Bud Gleeful runs away from Mabel. Gideon picks flowers. Bill Cipher makes a wooden spear. Agent Trigger questions his sanity. Old Man McGucket searches for firewood. Cute Tyler, what? No, let me try that again. Tyler sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Wendy, Tad Strange, Waddles, Agent Powers, and Toby determined hunt for other tributes. Candy searches for a water source. Dipper and Stanford, rest in peace. Proceed. Old Man McGucket quietly hums. Mabel Pines lets Agent Trigger into her shelter. Bud Gleeful receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Toby, determined, is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Seuss screams for help. Tyler attempts to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Brenda cries herself to sleep. Tad Strange receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Candy is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. Wendy sees a fire but stays hidden. Can't talk. Pacifica and Deputy Derwent run into each other inside the truce for the night. Bill Cipher strangles Agent Powers with a rope. Waddles cannot handle the circumstances and commits self-death. Sheriff Blooms and Love God tell stories about themselves to each other. Sorry about that. Gideon and Stanley Pines run into each other and decide to truce for the night. Robbie sees a fire but stays hidden. Brenda Candy, too determined to Robbie raid Agent Trigger's camp while he is hunting. Tyler receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Old Man McGucket receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Deputy Derland dies of dysentery. A gleeful constructs a shot. What the fuck was that? Yeah. Sheriff Blums discovers a cave. Bill Cipher receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Gideon thinks about home. Tad Strange sets an explosive off, killing Maple Pines. Stanley steals from Love God while he isn't looking. Zeus makes a wooden spear. Pacifica receives fresh food. Wendy's picked by thorns while picking berries. Agent Powers, Waddles, Deputy Dermond, and Mabel. Rest in peace. Sorry, I did it again. Tyler looks at the night sky. Tad Strange tends to Stanley Pine's wounds. Zeus cooks his food before putting his fire out. Agent Trigger tends to Toby determined wins. Pacifica thinks about winning. Gideon cries himself to sleep. Candy and Wendy tell stories about themselves to each other. Love God, Robbie, and Granda cheerfully sing songs together. Bud Gleeful passes out from exhaustion. Old Man McGucket is unable to convince Sheriff Bloods to not kill him. Bill Cipher passes out from exhaustion. Wendy collects fruit from a tree. Zeus Pacifica trads. What the fuck? Zeus Pacifica, Tad Strange, Love God, and Stanley Pines hunt for other tributes. Jesus Christ. My nose only ever gets stuffed when I'm trying to talk. Part of the reason why I never do it. Because I sound like a freaking child who doesn't have a fully developed nose yet. Or I sound like I'm sick. Granda, Robbie, and Tyler unsuccessfully ambush Bill Cipher, Gideon, and Bud Gleeful, who kill them instead. Agent Trigger dies from hunger. Sheriff Bloods defeats Candy in a fight but spares her life. Toby Determined receives fresh food. Rest in peace, Old Man McGucket, Granda, Robbie, Tyler, and Agent Trigger. Love God kills Pacifica as she tries to run. Candy dies from hunger. Toby determined Tad Strange and Sheriff Blub sleep in shifts. Bill Cipher cooks his food before putting his fire out. Stanley Pine sets off an explosion. Fuck. Stanley Pine sets an explosive off, killing Bud Gleeful and Wendy. Ow. Seuss and Gideon talk about the tribute still alive. Sorry about that. Toby determined decides not to go to the feast. Bill Cipher destroys Gideon's memoirs out of spite. Seuss stabs Tad Strange with a tree branch. Everyone else does not go to the feast. Love God repeatedly stabs Seuss to death with signs. Stanley receives clean water. Toad determined overhears Sheriff Blubs and Bill Cipher talking in the distance. Gideon tries to sleep through the entire day. Rest in peace, Pacifica, Candy, Bud Gleeful, Wendy, Tad Strange, and Seuss. Sheriff Blubs defeats Stanley Pines in the fight, but spares his life. Love God, Blib. Love God, Gideon, and Toby determined to discuss the games and what might happen in the morning. Bill Cipher questions his sanity. He never had any. Fuck. Sheriff Blub's kid receives clean water. Sheriff Blubs receives... I said it right the first time. I'm not going to repeat myself. If you tell me to repeat myself, I'm going to kill you. Toby determined ambushes Bill Cipher and kills him. Gideon hunts for other tributes. Love God scares Stanley Pine. Stanley Pines, not Panley Pines. Jesus Christ. Rest in peace, Bill Cipher. Sheriff Glove starts a fire. Toby determined strangles Gideon after engaging in a fistfight. Love God poisons Stanley's twink but mistakes it for his own and dies. Stanley questions his sanity. Sheriff Blubs camouflages himself. Toby determined questions his sanity. Gideon, love God. Stanley Pines sets an explosive off, killing Sheriff Blubs. Toby determined dies trying to escape the arena. The winner is Stanley Pines from District 2. Good job, Stanley Pines. But I am curious who got the most kills. Sheriff Blub only got one. Love God and Bill Cipher are tied for first when it comes to kills. I don't remember Bill killing any people, but I guess those 3 that he fought, whoever they were, counted towards that. But Gleeful has 3. Congratulations, you're a murderer. Let's do it again. Head's itchy. Tad Strange grabs a shovel. Tyler Cute Bakery told me the determined fight for a bag. Tyler gives it and retreats. Yeah. Abel Pines takes a sickle from inside the cornucopia. Candy snatches a bottle and an alcohol and a rag. Zeus takes a first aid kit. Bill cannot handle the circumstances and commits self-death. Fuck. Seriously, you were so close last time, and now you're just gonna give up first chance you get? You didn't even make it tonight, too. Agent Trigger snatches a bottle of Regal and alcohol. Stanley finds a kid. Stanley finds a canteen full of water. Left guy runs away from the cornucopia. I don't care. Waddle stabs Oaken in the gut. Waddle stabs Old Man McDuckett in the back with a trident. But Gleeful rips a mace out of Agent Power's hands. Talking really makes me thirsty fast. Jesus Christ. Gatorade doesn't help much. Miss Gleeful runs away from the cornucopia. Dipper Pines, Wendy, Brenda, and Pacifica share everything they gathered before running. Sorry. Tyler makes a wooden spear. Gleeful and eats toxic. She probably dies. Pacifica discovers a river. Stanford Pines hunts for other tributes. Brenda searches for firewood. Wendy Ruth is an explosive. Fucking no, stop. Just try to talk. Jeez. Balls explores the arena. What Zeus walks, he firewood. He looks for it. Sheriff Blubs practices his archery. Agent Paz discovers a cave. Deputy German tries to fish with spear and a trident. Before spear with a trident. Candy, Agent Trigger, Robbie, and Abel Pines raid Toby Determines camp while he is hunting. Tad Strange dies of dysentery. Floating square, and he dies from shitting himself to death. And Dipper Pine sends for other tributes. God steals. God steals from Stanley Pines while he isn't looking. Gideon makes a wooden spear. Bugleaf makes a wooden spear. Rest in peace. Deputy General and Agent Trigger and Bugleaf will cheerfully sing songs together. Agent Powers passes out from exhaustion. Not so powerful now, huh? Sorry. Gideon Maple Pines, Robbie Waddles, and Stanley Pines sleep in shifts. Stanford Pines receives an explosive. Sheriff Blubs and Dipper sleep in shifts. Grenda and Tyler run into each other and decide to trees for the night. Wendy is awoken by nightmares. Candy, Bradley, Lefkout and Zeus work together to drown Pacifica. Toby determined thinks about winning. Agent Powers tries to sleep through the entire day. But Gleeful silently snaps Seuss's neck. Gideon and Robbie hunt for other tributes. Candy questions their sanity. Stanford Nines and Grenda work together for the day. Waddle's a water source. He finds it. Or he looks for it. I don't know if he finds it or not. Well, this loser receives fresh food. Wendy overhears Maple Pines and Dipper Times talking in the distance. Okay. Sheriff Blubs, Agent Tyler, and Tyler. They hunt for the tributes. Toby determined questions. Shack. Deputy Derwent receives a hatchet. Stanley Pines camouflages himself in the bushes. Citizen Pacific. Sorry, my headphones turned off by accident. Can maybe sorry for anyone who heard that. I apologize. Shit. My nose is being a bitch. Candy begs Agent Powers to kill her. He refuses, keeping Candy alive. Wendy climbs a tree. Mabel, Sheriff, Blubs, Bugleaf, Stanford Pines, and Robbie sleep in shifts. Lefkout receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Gideon is unable to start a fire. Tyler stays awake at night. Dipper tries to start a fire, but is unsuccessful. Agent Trigger Medivh, he finds clean water from a sponsor. Stanley Pines' trap kills Deputy Derwent. Candid, she sings herself to sleep. Toby Determined begs for Waddles to kill him. He refuses, keeping Toby Determined alive. Okay. Dipper Pines forces Sheriff Blubs to kill Stanford Pines or Mabel Pines. He decides to kill Mabel Pines. I didn't know that Dipper wanted his family dead. Especially the two that he was closest to. Kid's got problems. Can't have force. What? Candy forces Grenda to kill Agent Trigger or Gideon. She decides to kill Agent Trigger. The squished PNG. Tyler constructs a shack. The Waddles stalks Toby Determined. Wendy is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Love God, but Gleeful and Robbie hunt for other tributes. Agent Powers steals from Stanley. Alright, rest in peace. Let's move on. Cries himself to sleep. Questions his sanity. Toby Determined standing Pines and Sheriff Blunt. Sleep at shifts. Sleep at shifts. Dipper Pines and Robbie fight Stanley Pines and Tyler. Stanley Pines and Tyler survive. Stanley might win this one again. But Gleeful hurts himself. Lovegood camouflages himself. Fuck. Agent Powers sets Stanley Pines on fire with a Molotov. By the way, a Molotov is an alcohol bottle with a piece of cloth in it. You throw it and it's like a firebomb. Stanford Pines receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Tyler and Wendy work together for the day. Get this shit into the river. Toby Determined chases Waddles. Has to be Stanley Pines and Dipper Pines and Robbie, I guess. Medical supplies. They sleep in shifts. Okay, nothing happened. He injures himself. Jesus Christ. Tyler, cute biker, spears Grenda in the abdomen. Jesus. Ruthless. Carnivorous squirrels start attacking the tributes. Toby Determined is brutally attacked by squirrels. Tyler survives, Gideon survives, Bud Gleeful survives, Love God survives. No! Stanford Pines tries to kill as many squirrels as he can, but there are too many. Swaddle survives. Sheriff Blubs tries to kill as many squirrels as he can, but there are too many. Grenda, Toby Determined, Stanford Pines, Sheriff Blubs, Agent Powers, and Candy Rest in peace. Tyler receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Wolfgang climbed a tree to the roof. But you know what I said. Accidentally stepped on a landmine. So Gideon, you are dead. Really dead. Can't survive a landmine. Wendy decides not to go to the feast. When Tyler slices Bud Gleeful with a sword. Love God kills Waddles with his own weapon. Wendy steals from Tyler Cutebiker while he isn't looking. Love God dies. Good, I don't like him. Love is stupid. Wendy finds and kills Tyler Cutebiker, who is making too much noise. Rest in peace. Wendy. She wins. Yeah. Who got the most kills? Stan, nope, it was Tyler Cutebiker. The one who's supposed to be cute, apparently. This breaks my heart. It truly does. Well, I'm just gonna end it here. Maybe I'll do another one. I don't know. I guess.